I'm really confused on why Disney feels the need to keep making these live action movies. What's up, you guys? It's Jonathan Carter, and today we are going to be talking about Lilo and Stitch.
What the hell?
Since maybe 2019, Disney has been on this kick of making live-action versions of their classic animated films, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, and even earlier this year, the infamous Snow White that was just a total disaster. I will put my review up here. Obviously, Disney is on this kick of live action films, of their remaking them from their animated films because
Money!
they're cash grabs. This like Lilo and Stitch is literally printing money this weekend for Disney. And really, when you look at it that way, there's no other explanation of why they keep making these live action animated films, even though they don't do that well critically. They do pretty well financially. And as we kick off this review, please be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify for podcast versions of these reviews if you're more into podcasts. And also with that, put all of your thoughts below on Lilo and Stitch. If you have spoilers, just tag spoilers, but let me know your thoughts below on the movie. And without further ado, let's jump into the review. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, there's really no reason for this movie to exist. Like, there's right off the bat, that's it. There's really like no getting that, no better way to say that. Even after watching this movie, if you wanted to watch Lilo and Stitch, I would just recommend watching the animated film because this live action movie is just a carbon copy of the animated film, but just with like real life actors. It's by no means like a train wreck of a film like this year's, came out earlier, Snow White, but there's no love and care put into it like other Disney animated movies, hence something like Inside Out or Inside Out 2, where you can tell a team of creators wanted to make that movie. This just feels like what I said at the beginning of the review, a cash grab to print money for a studio. So like this isn't gonna land on like 2025's top 10 worst movies of the year, but it's also not gonna be anywhere near 2025's top 10 best movies of the year. Just as a movie, it falls right there in the middle of mid. Like I said, Lilo and Stitch is a carbon copy of the animated film. It follows the same family as Stitch falls down from outer space and Lilo wishes on a shooting star to have a friend.
No. Control him. Hey, what are you doing?
And same thing as the animated cartoon, Lilo and Nani are without their parents. Nani is struggling to raise Lilo, and foster services and all of that foster care gets involved. It is literally just the same exact story as the animated film, down to the T of them surfing on the wave and all of that. And if you put a side-by-side of the animated film and this live-action movie, you can tell, like I was saying earlier, there's no care or love put into this. It's just, it feels like a studio just wanting to make money off of one of their properties. And don't get me wrong, that is no shade to the production of this team. Everything with visuals and all that of the aliens and specifically Stitch like does look incredible. I think the biggest thing to come out of this movie is going to be the character of Stitch, like the live action or whatever, like computer generated version of him is going to be everywhere in Disney and on posters and movies and commercials and things like that because he is undeniably very cute and they did render him very well in this movie. And as I was watching the movie, I realized that he actually reminds me of one of my cats. This little guy, Pinto Bean, right here to be specific, who, like Stitch, is incredibly lovable and sweet, but also has a little bit of a darker side, as you all can tell right now. But with that out of the way, while there are some funny humor moments in this movie,
I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
as a family, or like people, they even got a chuckle out of me, like you can enjoy it. This is something that you would put on in the background on like a Saturday morning when you or your family or whatever are just hanging out. If you were gonna sit down and watch Lilo and Stitch, I would still recommend watching the animated one 1000% over this one. So the verdict, like a lot of movies this year in 2025, Lilo and Stitch is just the definition of mid. It is by no means a train wreck, terrible film, but it's also not really a great one that justifies why it needed to exist besides just printing money for a studio.
Hello!
I like money.
There are things to enjoy in it. The character Stitch is very cute. They did an amazing job rendering his model and all of that. And there are funny moments that will get a chuckle out of you. But again, if you were going to watch Lilo and Stitch, I would still recommend watching the animated version. And all that being said, I'm going to give Lilo and Stitch 2025 live action remake a 5.5 out of 10. And on a see it, stream it, or skip it, honestly, stream it or skip it. I don't think anybody's really going to remember this movie come next year, end of this year. All that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Lilo and Stitch in the comments. And I did survive my move. Let me know what you think about my new setup here. Finally got everything organized, so I'm a little late with this review. And right here, I am gonna put my review for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and a playlist of me watching through every single Mission Impossible movie. Please be sure to like and subscribe, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.